G'day guys, my name is Wildkard and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for following my stupid contents, I really do appreciate it. It's award season, it's the end of the year. World Rugby has just announced their World 15 for 2021. So let's have a look at who made the list, who missed out. So this is an interesting list for me because obviously everybody has their own bias. So we're going to go through the World Rugby's official list, and then I shall give you my list for my World 15 for 2021 after we go through the World Rugby list. So first up, a loose proposition, Wynne Jones from Wales for number 1, and number 2, Malcolm Marx from South Africa. Number 3, Ty Furlong, the tight head prop for Ireland. Number 4, Mauro Itoje for England. Number 5, Eben Itzebeth, the water break. Number 5 and number 6, Sia Kolisi. Number 7, Michael Lahupa. Number 8, Adi Savia for New Zealand. Number 9, Anton Dupont for France. Number 10, Beauden Barrett for New Zealand. Number 11, Marco Zolo Mapimpi for the Springboks. Number 12, Samuel Korevi for the Wallabies. Number 13, Lukamyo for the Springboks. Number 14, Will Jordan for New Zealand. And number 15, Stuart Hogg for Scotland. So this list, I agree, I would say, to most of the selections. And but there are a few that I don't quite, I'm feeling a bit different. So let me know what your thoughts on your selections. Let me know your selections for the World 15 in the comments down below. But here's mine. Here's where I disagree. First up, in the loose set proposition, I thought Wynne Jones was good, but I didn't think he was consistently good I don't think he was that great, especially, I thought it was like he ticked all the boxes, but who I thought was great was Andrew Porter for Ireland. His running game is insane. He's able to create so much space, so much opportunity for the Irish backline. Just the work rate is incredibly high. So as the loose air prop, especially his game against the All Blacks, I thought he was, overall better than Wynne Jones. So the Irish 4-pack has played really well the entire year, and I felt like they've been overlooked a lot. So for number 1 for me is Andrew Porter. And number 2, Malcolm Marx. I thought Malcolm Marx would be, if this list was to go for the starting 23, Malcolm Marx would be the best hooker coming off the bench. Like the best finisher hooker position for sure. Hands down. But as a starting hooker, I just don't know, because to be frank, South Africa hasn't played him that much as starting hooker this year. And I think the games that he did play was against I think it was against, might have been against, I'm not too, I can't remember. I think it might be against, I would say Argentina. And it's not nearly, he's just a hooker. I would say in terms of between him and Bunambi, I thought Bunambi is probably better, to be honest, as a starting hooker. So I don't agree with number 2, but when we're looking at the best hooker in the world at a starting spot, I thought it was Cody Taylor. Like, running game, impeccable, really good lineouts, really good set pieces. The maul has been just as good as Malcolm Marx. So I thought Cody Taylor as a starting hooker is the best. He sets up tries. He's able to run those good support lines for the All Blacks. Extremely dangerous, and he had a really, really good season for the Crusaders as well. So for me, number 2 is Cody Taylor. Number 3, Ty Furlong, which I do agree, the best tight end prop in the world by a long shot. Number 14, they had Mauro Itoje. I'm very surprised about this one. Mauro Itoje is infamous for giving away way too many penalties in rugby games. He was criticized quite a lot, especially in the Six Nations. There was literally a running joke about how many penalties given away, and it's just I'm surprised that he got number 4. For me, number 4 is Alan Wynne Jones, and there's one reason that Alan Wynne Jones for me picks over, especially if you were to consider Mauro Itoje. Alan Wynne Jones during the Lions Test tour was starting beside Mauro Itoje and had higher work rate than Mauro Itoje. So despite people giving Alan Wynne Jones crap for being too old, he outperformed Mauro Itoje just in terms of pure work rate, tackle count, so impeccable defense. So and also he doesn't give away nearly as much penalties. Just by that alone, I thought Alan Wynne-Jones deserved to be ahead of Mauro Itoje at number 4. Number 5, hands down, Eben Etzebeth, the best Springbok player in the world right now by a long shot. And I actually felt like he probably could be one of the best performing players in the world this year. So I'm very surprised to see that he didn't get a nomination for that. So I do agree, Eben Etzebeth at number 5. Number 6, Siya Kolisi. I do not agree with this one, and I think I have a bit of a I don't know. I felt like this is a bit of a wild pick for me at number 6, because number 6 is a bit of a weird position as well, because in South Africa, the number 6 position is technically open side flanker. So it's technically Siya Kolisi plays number 7 by the rest of the world standard, because they play like left and right. And also, I just felt like Siya Kolisi, again, whilst really, really good, ticks all the boxes that you want from a team. Nothing too special. And what I have here is Ethan Blackadder at number 6. He has only played a few games for the All Blacks at number 6 in some of the big games against like Ireland. And his work rate is insanely high. Like way higher than you would expect. Just super high work rate, super high tackle count, tackle rate. And the one thing I thought Ethan Blackadder actually edges out over like a lot of the number 6s or blindside flankers in the world is the fact that he is a spectacular line-out operator. So he's incredibly high work rate, because sometimes in the World Rugby today, you do put a additional line-out operator at number 6. England does that, South Africa does that. They put basically they play a third, second rower at number 6. But Ethan Blackadder is not a second rower. He is actually a legitimate flanker with high work rate, high running speed, high octane, but his line out is also world class. This one you can tell Ethan Blackadder is good because the All Blacks has opted for him to be the safe option in the lineouts at number 6 when they needed a guaranteed lineout. So if they're like 5 meters out defending or 5 meters out from attacking position, they very often go the far to Ethan Blackadder. So that tells you how good and how much they trust him at the lineout. So I thought that was really impressive. So I will pick Ethan Blackadder at number 6, slightly ahead of Siya Kolisi. Number 7, I do agree, Michael Hooper, best number 7 in the world. Breakdowns, high work rate, super high work rate. And that's what you kind of want in these loose 4 positions. Being high work rate is like the key factor in these positions, which is why I thought Ethan Blackadder edges ahead, because Ethan Blackadder's work rate is insane, through the roof. Probably higher than Michael Hooper, given the time that he was on in the field for. So number 7, but then again, Blackadder probably should have needed a bit more games to really prove him to be the case. But for the few games that he did play, which were against big teams as well, he did play really, really well. Number 8, Ardie Savia. Again, Ardie Savia has been very stellar, very good for the All Blacks. But for me, I thought Vermeulen was slightly better from the Springbok team. I thought Vermeulen just slightly better at the breakdown, have that about the same in terms of the running, carrying the ball, but just slightly better at the breakdown, and just really brings that extra bit of stability for the Springboks in all of their structures, in all of their set piece plays. That Ardie Savia, he's just a little bit better during the set piece play as well. Just a little bit better than Ardie Savia in those regard. So I do think that Duhan Vermeulen edges over Ardie Savia at number 8 spot here for me. Number 9, Antoine Dupont from France, the embodiment of the French flair. I do agree with this. So Antoine Dupont is, especially that game against the All Blacks, really showed that why many people consider him to be the best number 9 in the world, and he was very, very spectacular. Don't disagree with that. Number 10, Beauden Barrett. Beauden! Oh, go Beauden! He is very good against Wales, but the rest of his season, he's been pretty average. So I felt like the number 10 is a really difficult spot to pick. I thought all the number 10s in the world hasn't been that spectacular. Just maybe due to the way the teams are playing nowadays, there's a lot of kicking, so number 10s don't really show that much of their flair. I thought maybe if Richie Mo'unga kept his form when he played the Wallabies, he would be definitely by far the best number 10 in the world. But his form kind of fell off towards the end of the season as he kind of took a break during the mid-season. Beauden Barrett, kind of like on the opposite end, had a really kind of poor start, and it took him all the way to the end of the season to kind of like find him his groove, and then had a really good game against Wales. So for me, number 10 is not Beauden Barrett. For me, number 10, someone who has been always consistent throughout the whole year, always tick the boxes, does the things that you need to do for a 10. And I hate to say this, it's dumbface Dan Biggar. I hate to say this, but Dan Biggar has been consistently good for what Wales needed him to do. Kicking game, spectacular. Goal kicking, like one of the highest in the world, I think he's probably the highest in the world for 2021. Like in terms of goal kicking, he's just incredibly good. Pretty solid performance in Lions tour. He's a bit of a twat off the field, but overall, just in terms of on the field consistency, I have to give it to Dan Biggar. So that's my pick. You know how much I hate this one, but unfortunately, overall, Dan Biggar has played better than Beauden in terms of consistency. And at number 11, as you can already see, they had Makazole Mapimpi. I do think Makazole is incredibly good. And I do think that he probably could potentially be the best winger in the world. But the way the Springboks play, don't really utilize the wingers that much. So the very, very few opportunities when Makazole Mapimpi was given the ball, given an opportunity to score, he capitalized and scored. So it was very, very, very good and impressive to see. Just the fact that the way the Springboks play, he hardly gets the ball for most of the season. So for me, the best number 11, the best finisher is Rieko Ioane. Like it or not, people want to put him at outside center. People want to say that, Lambert is not really that good, but he's not as good as he was before, but he is by far the best finisher for the All Blacks at number 11. Yeah, and he's by far the number 11 in the world, despite the fact that he's supposedly an outside center. When he does put on that 11 jersey, he delivers for the All Blacks. Tries, just being able to create tries out of nowhere. The speed, the ability to identify the play in front of him. He's back to Rieko Ioane from like 2018 or something. He's very, very, very good. I really do. I think he's slightly better than just the fact that the Springboks don't play Mapimpi that much, don't give him that many opportunities. I think Rieko edges ahead at number 11 as well for me. Number 12, Samuel Korevi. I do agree. When he came back for Australia, literally turned Australia around, winning 5 games in a row for Australia, being able to consistently break over defensive lines, even against the best defense in the world, like the Springboks. 100% agree. Number 12, Samuel Korevi. Now, number 13. This is a difficult spot once again. Once again, Lukam Young has the talent to be the best outside center in the world. Okay? And by the way, number 12, if Samuel Korevi hasn't returned to play for the Wallabies, I would have at number 12, Damien Delende, the Springbok inside center. But number 13, the problem with the Springboks, with both their 12 and 13, is the fact that it's the same issue with Makazole Mapimpi. The way the Springboks play, they don't utilize their backline that much. So their backline barely touches the ball. Like, you literally watch some games, like the games against the All Blacks, I think, maybe even the games against the Wallabies. They didn't even touch the ball for like most of the game. Like, it's just insane. So whilst these guys do have the talent, I think, to be best in the world, just the fact that they really didn't get that many opportunities puts me down a bit. But for me, number 13 is a difficult spot to select. I do think when Samuel Korevi came back and he linked up with Len Nikitau for the Wallabies at number 13, that center combination was absolutely spectacular. I thought this center combination looked like this could just be me being biased. I thought Len Nikitau at number 13 looked like a god. Like Korevi, I didn't even spell his name wrong. Korevi and Len Nikitau, the two combinations together was just spectacular to watch, I think. And thinking about the outside center position, yeah, like Len Nikitau was able to score 2 tries against the Springboks and against basically the best defense in the world. And these two guys just made the opposition defense look like this non-existent, right? So just that alone, the fact that Len Nikitau and Samuel Korevi outplayed the Springbok defense in the Rugby Championship, I thought Len Nikitau deserved the spot at number 13 for me. Number 14, I do agree, Will Jordan, best number 14 in the world. Just one of those players for New Zealand, just absolutely spectacular. Literally being able to create tries out of nowhere. I think, yeah, his kicking game is just spectacular. Not with just out of this world. Like, he can kick for territory with huge boot, and he can just spot that space. He'll do a chip and chase and score tries out of nowhere. It's just absolutely magician on the field. Will Jordan, number 14, sure. Number 15, Stuart Hogg for Scotland. Well, Stuart Hogg has played really, really well for Scotland and is probably the best in Europe for the fullback position. For me, this is a wild pick for me. For me, the number 15 is Francois Stein for the Springboks. He hasn't played 15 that much for the Springboks, and he was a bench player coming off the bench. But there was a few games where I think against the All Blacks, in the second game, he was put on the field basically in the first half due to injuries, and he's just so good. Huge boot, getting that 50-22, abusing that new law to be able to get the ball back for a 50-22 kick, and just his ability to run the ball, his ability to identify space. 34 still could make it to the World Cup, I think. And Francois Stein, the few games he played at fullback, I was very impressed. I was getting nostalgia from 2007 when he was playing. Oh, actually, he plays outside center in 2007, didn't he? Yeah, I was getting some nostalgia for Stein when he was on the field. And for me, he was, the few games he played in fullback, really able to close out the game for the Springboks. Really made a huge difference. And his kicking game was just spectacular, sublime. And I thought for me, number 15 is Francois Stein. Bit of a controversial pick for me. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Let me know who your 15 is. Post it down in the comment down below. And thank you for watching this video, guys. And I really do appreciate you tuning in. I'll see you guys next week for the news update. Cheers.